Hello ladies, and welcome back to another random map game with me, Zach. Today I have yet again another 4 versus 4 game, and I think this one is a little bit longer than the last one I did, so I am going to speed things up in the early stages once again, just so the recording length is slightly less. Before I do introduce the players and all that, I do want to just reiterate the fact that I do have really bad internet at the moment, which I've said multiple times in various videos. So that does mean that this video will be uploaded in 720p, slightly less quality than normal, but on the 27th, which is a couple of days from now, I will be getting fiber optic once again, which does mean that I'll be able to upload at 1080p as usual. The problem is obviously if I have to create or render this at 1080p and it's, I don't know, 30 minutes long or whatever, that's a massive file and it takes me over 10 hours to upload it, which is just simply ridiculous. So yeah, I wanted to put that there at the start of the video so you guys know. Anyway, who have we got in this game? Well, VG Paladin's team, we do have him playing in blue over to the right of the map, sort of south east sort of ish. He is playing as Huns in blue over here. His teammate down to the south, James XX, he is playing as Vikings in green down to the south, and yeah, he is just there. That's all there is to say about it, really. In yellow, over to his left, we do have Slam playing as Goths. I think you've seen a lot of games from Slam from me. I don't know why. Slam and Hassan seem to get a reasonable amount of coverage on this channel. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's just very active players playing in a lot of games. And over to the north of Slam, we do have Mr. Yo in red playing as Spanish. Mr. Yo, really good guy from what I've seen of him. He helped out a lot in the GML with translations between the Chinese players, and so all in all, good guy there. Just want to say though that this team is mainly, I believe, comprising of Chinese players. I think Paladin, James XX, I'm not sure who that is, I've forgotten now, but they're all Chinese, apart from Slam, who is I believe Canadian. Sorry if I'm wrong. Over on the north of the map, we do have the VNS team. VNS, of course, being a Vietnamese team. In orange, to the sort of northwest of the map, we do have Scandal playing as Goths. Up to the very north of the map, in purple, we have Zaya Junzu, I would just say Junzu, I think he's VNS guy as well, playing as Vikings. Off to his right, in teal, we have Garken Ga Pro 123. Maybe I would just call him Pro 123. I don't know. Some of these names too hard for me to pronounce. He's playing as Spanish. And finally, last but not least, over to his right, we do have VNS Yellow in grey playing as Huns. So on the flanks we've got Huns versus Huns. On the other flank we've got Spanish versus Goths, and our pocket players for the VNS team are going to be Vikings and Spanish, and the pocket players for the Chinese team / Canadian team, if Slam is Canadian, Goths and Vikings. So I'm going to speed things up just for the time being whilst the Dark Age is underway, because unless we see some drushing, there really isn't a lot to see, and at the moment just Mr. Yo doing some big walls right here. Not sure if he's intending to do a drush at all. It's almost 8 minutes. If there's going to be a drush, the barracks usually goes down around 8. As you can see here, Scandal is already putting it down at 7. And he is looking to drush. He's going to find that Mr. Yo is pretty much fully walled already. Mr. Yo with a quick wall there. And that is the style that you see a lot of the Chinese players using. You can see Paladin over here as well. He is drushing, but he's also walling up very rapidly, and I don't know if this is influenced by Tim at all, because obviously Tim being the sort of infamous waller, but the Chinese players do seem to wall a lot, and I don't know if that's because... I'm not going to say that, because that could be a little bit racist. I was going to make a reference to the Great Wall of China, but I'm not sure if that's really allowed. Excuse me if that's a little bit rude. But yeah, it seems that the Chinese players do wall up very quickly. Mr. Yo here pretty much already walled already, and he isn't drushing, so I suppose that makes a little more sense, as Scandal here with his militia aren't going to get in very easily at all. Yellow over on the right side, he is not drushing either. We do see Paladin going in with his Drush right now, sending his scout towards the TC, and if Yellow was a bit faster there, he probably could have killed that scout with the TC, as Paladin was under there for quite some time. Going to get in here and attack Yellow's wood. Yellow could have walled that in a little bit sooner had he known this coming in, but looks like he's going to get away perhaps with that villager. Maybe it'll go down, but either way, it's going to go back to the TC, and yeah, Jeff Paladin's going to have no chance at all. Throwing a barracks down right there, and it looks like Yellow could be going up to the feudal age already. Yes, he is, and he's going to be hitting feudal in just a sec, so he's going to get his barracks up in time for that, hopefully. That's his intention, I'm sure. And then he's playing as Huns, so likely to either add an archery range or a stable. Likely, I think, to go with a stable straight away. I mean, he could go for an archery range, but at the moment he's not taking any gold, and that would mean he'd have to produce skirmishers. He's got quite a bit of food income, so he might go straight down with a stable. We'll keep an eye on that. Drush from Scandal starting to get in a little bit. He did here, as you can see, attempt to wall this in with palisades, but didn't work, and Yo has kept him out for the time being. Let's see what goes down here then for Yellow. Is he going to throw an archery range down? No, he's going to go for a stable. Makes sense, he's got the food, he's not taking any gold just yet, and he's going to try and get that stable up quickly and go with some scouts. Being careful, of course, not to delay that for too long, as Paladin does have his Drush in here, which is, of course, going to be a bit of a problem. But the stable goes up, and he's not really managed to do all that much with it, to be fair. At the moment, just getting in there with some militia, trying to take out a villager. He could get one. He could, yeah. Looks like Yellow's going to lose one, but I don't think that's too much of a big deal for him. He's managed to clear up this Drush pretty quickly with his scouts and spearmen, so he's going to defend quite nicely against that one. What have we got over here? The Drush from Scandal, which of course didn't really work out at all for him over at Mr. Yo's base, is going to be heading over to Slam right now, and that could be a little bit of an annoyance for Slam. Of course, he's playing as a pocket player. He is going to want to be up to the castle age quickly, which he's about to click up, and of course this Drush, if he gets any villagers, that's kind of a big deal for Slam, because he wants the strongest economy possible when he gets up to the castle age. The reason for that, of course, is because he wants to be able to spam knights as quickly as he can. As you can see, already adding in a stable and a blacksmith, and once this blacksmith goes up, he will be able to go up to the castle age. I think one more villager and he should be about there, but this Drush, a little bit of an annoyance. He's going to try and deal with that with his villagers, but of course losing gathering time, and Scandal making good use of that right there. Yo looks like he's actually going for a fast castle here, throwing down a blacksmith and a market, but let's see, I went to the wrong person. There he is. Yeah, he's going to go for a fast castle. Interesting strategy, actually, because he's playing as a flank player. And playing as a flank player usually means that you'll do a bit of a flush, and then you'll go for a castle, go up to the castle age. But instead, he's going for a fast castle here. He'll sell some stone at the market, probably. Or something along those lines. He's just fiddling around with the market now to get a little bit more gold, so he can get up to the castle age quickly. We've got a bit of a Drush from Scandal though, putting up a tower right there to try and cover this stone. You can see quite clearly that Yo is taking the stone, but Mr. Yo going to get his tower up first, of course, with 5 villagers building that as opposed to Scandal's 3, and it's at least going to be a bit of a standoff for now, because Mr. Yo isn't going to be able to take any stone, but at the same time Scandal is wasting those villagers inside of that tower as well. So Mr. Yo would be probably advised to take a couple of villagers out of here, put them on gold, and then leave a couple in just to attack the tower, or maybe not even at all, just come back and repair it every now and then. Either way, he's going to be clicking up to the castle age just now. He should be. He's got the resources. There we go. And interesting strategy from him to go for a fast castle on the flank position, something that we don't see all that often. Paladin then on the right side, a few idle villagers right there, but he also clicking up to the castle age very quickly, and it's an interesting 3v3. Usually the flank players will drush to some extent, but it really doesn't look like that's going to happen at all here. And Yellow, I think, going a little bit overboard with the stone walls here, but stone walling his base up. Of course, Huns don't get the fortified wall upgrade, but he's spending a lot of time and villagers and resources building this stone wall here. I'm not really sure if that's going to pay off too well for him. He's not going up to the castle age anytime soon at all, so I'm not really sure what his intention with that stone wall is. It's a little bit of a standoff, walling up and all that jazz. Scandal, of course, walling up a little bit, and eventually the flank players will wall up, because of course once the pockets do get up to the castle age, which you know, Junsu, who we got, Pro, Slam, and James XX, they are already into the castle age. So the flanks usually slower to reach castle, so they will be advised to wall up when they can. Makes a lot of sense, but it is unusual to see the the flank players going for fast castles. And let's see where Scandal is on his road to Castle Age. He's just about to click up, actually. He's researching Wheelbarrow, and then he'll click up. And it's interesting because Mr. Yo, Paladin, already up to the Castle Age right now, which puts the Chinese team already all into the Castle Age, whereas the VNS team has 2 Castle pocket players, and their flanks are still in feudal for now. But they're not really making much army either, which again is fairly interesting. I'm not really sure what their intention here is. They're probably just going to work on economy for now, and then get up to castle. I think, if Yellow hadn't have built this stone wall, he could be into the castle age already. So interesting strategies there. He is clicking up though, so he's going to be there in just a while. But Paladin going to have a little advantage here, already up to the castle age, and really, I think the flank players should try and push this to their advantage. But at the moment, looks like Mr. Yo just going to be booming, adding in his 2nd and 3rd TC. Same for Paladin as well, adding him in his 2nd TC. Probably see a 3rd from him fairly soon as well. And it just looks like they're just working on booming up for the time being, which is all well and good, but it is going to mean that Purple and Teal start to take some map control, as the flank players are going to be stuck inside of their base while they boom. Let's see then, James XX over here, he's got his 3 TCs up, and it looks like he's going to be starting to make some knights fairly soon. What is he playing as again? He's playing as Vikings, I believe. Yes, he is. So we'll probably see some knights from him, but as the moment, no knights for now. And again, taking quite a defensive stance here, building some monks, and of course monks they do make good defensive units, as they can convert any knights that come over. Let's see what Slam is doing. He's playing as Spanish, I believe. No, Goths. So Goths go for knights, makes sense, but for now, just making more economy. 3 TCs are already up, knights starting to come out, but well, he's got 3 on the map, 4 on the map already, going to add a 5th very soon, working on his economy first before adding in any extra stables. Let's see, Junsu adding in 2 stables and a monastery right now. His 2 TCs are up, but he's not going for a 3rd just yet, going for the 2nd stable instead. So we'll see more knights from him most likely. Let's have a quick look at his stable. Yeah, 2 knights coming out at a time, and that's going to really help him to push an advantage over on Slam over here, and on James as well, because James not really making that many knights at the moment either. What do we see from Pro here? Again, 2 stables from him, and 3 TCs already up. Spanish with reasonably good knights. They will be upgraded to Cavalier and Paladin later on, so it's worth investing in knights if you're playing as Spanish. Of course, not archers, because Spanish archers are terrible, as they cannot be upgraded, and so knights are really a good idea, and it does make Spanish quite a good pocket civilization, because of course, if they can't upgrade their archers, flushing with archers and then upgrading to knights later on is more costly than just going from knights from the outset. So it does look like Purple and Teal here do have a lot more knights out on the map, and that could mean that they do take an advantage. However, well, I was going to say James and Slam with a higher score, but they have just been overtaken there. But they're going to have better economy a bit later on, so we'll see how it goes for them. James XX here going up with a 4th TC, and of course playing as Vikings does mean you do have a better economy than most, as you do get Wheelbarrow and Handcart for free. So their economy does start to get a bit of a boost very quickly early on. And we see a little raid coming in from Gar Pro here. Is he going to be able to do much with that? Of course, Monk a little bit slow to be used there. That was unfortunate. He could have actually got a conversion had he not been so slow. But a lot of knights coming in for Gar Pro, and it's kind of hard to see actually which one's which from behind. The blue and the teal and the green look fairly similar in colour. We'll check that there in just a second. Paladin on the right side getting out some cavalry archers already, and he is looking to poke some holes into Yellow, but Yellow fully stone walled up, and of course cavalry archers not going to get through a stone wall anytime soon. We'll see if he's actually able to do much here. His army's a little bit split. If he had them together, that would be really handy for him. Upgrade wise, yellow certainly is ahead, and playing as Huns, he is going to have a nice cavalry archer line, of course, as he does have cheaper cavalry archers. He's also got all the upgrades on there as well. 3 archery ranges up for him already, and he's going to be producing cavalry archers at quite a good rate. Of course, Paladin into the castle age first in this case, managing to get out more cavalry archers for the time being, although he does have less upgrades. He is adding in a 3rd archery range, however, and he already has 3 TCs up, as opposed to yellow's 1 and 2 on the way. A little bit of a skirmish in the centre here. Looks like James XX managing to just get enough knights out, adding in more stables now, going up with 4 stables actually, and I think he's done quite a good idea here. He's gone up with 4 TCs, he's producing a lot of villagers, he's got a good strong economy right now, and now he's going to be able to produce knights from 4 stables. Should be fairly effective for him, and if he can get enough knights out, he'll be able to make it work out. So we'll see how that one goes. Mr. Yo right now, it looks like he's just working on his eco. I really don't see much army from him at the moment. 4th TC out for him as well. And it really does look like these Chinese guys like to boom, like to wall up. And yeah, looks like Slam even adopting that strategy as well. We're seeing monks and a few knights from him, but not really any raids going out or anything like that. No more stables added in either, so I'm expecting Slam to add in some stables fairly soon, so we can at least get a few more knights out and start to boost his knight population right there. Teal 3 stables, sorry not teal, purple 3 stables right now, stables, I can't say stables, I keep saying stales. Teal with 2 and the 3rd going up, so looks like the Vietnamese guys looking to get very aggressive very soon, with quite a lot of knights out on the map already, as you can see. Let's have a quick look at the population of their 16 cavalry for purple. Slam has only got 4, so that's not so good for him. Teal with 13 and green with 17. So, I mean, I think the knights are very heavily in favour of purple and teal right now, and that's probably going to make quite a big difference. We'll see if they can make that work, but at the moment, big raids coming in. It looks like Slam here going to get a bit of a 2v1 as teal and purple both head into his base, although saying that, purple aiming to go with the or going for Yo over here. But if Slam does get 2v1, that's going to be quite a big deal. He is playing as Goths, so his knight line only really so good up to the castle age. After that, he's going to want to transition into infantry. But I mean, they're going to hit his economy pretty hard if they both go in here, even if they deny his town centres anything. And at the moment, he doesn't have +1. He literally just researched +1 on his town centres right there. I'm going to keep an eye out over here though, because Paladin and James XX going with a double team attack over at Teal's base. Teal though with a lot of knights could actually defend this fairly easily. Going to have a quick look back down here. Teal gonna attack Slam at his woodline once again. Slam, as I said, with +1 now, but Teal does have +2 defense on his knights, so does purple, and they are really set up well to raid right now. Paladin +2 on his cavalry archers, so that's negated the defense upgrades from Pro there, Teal, and a fairly big army outside of his base, but he's not panicking too much. He's got his villagers back to work, and that's the thing when you're being raided. You need to deal with the knights as quickly as possible, and that way you can actually keep your economy going and make sure that you're not too distracted by them. Let's see, looks like Slam with a castle up there. He could be upgrading to the... he is upgrading to the Imperial Age. A pretty fast Imperial time from him. We're at 29 minutes in, and Slam is already clicking up to Imperial right now. Playing as Goths, of course, but he is being raided 2v1, and this is kind of a big deal for him. If he loses a lot of villagers here, he will be up to the Imperial Age, but he won't have much resources to actually do anything with. Starting to add in some barracks on the left-hand side, but the raiding here is pretty huge, managing to send them away, and yeah, they're going to lose a lot if they stay in there for too long, but of course, preventing him from gathering, kind of a big deal. Going to head over to green now and see what they can do over there. Teal managing to defend his base fairly well. He has an absolute ton of knights right now, and these guys really investing heavily into knights. Of course, they're not up to the Imperial Age like Slam is. He is choosing to go with tech over army right now, over numbers. 23 cavalry for Teal. Green has 32, however. They are spread out a little bit over the map, trying to attack over at Grey's base. Not really had a look at what Grey's doing for a while, so we'll have a quick look now. He only just... wait, what? He's got 2 TCs, really focusing on cavalry archer production. All the upgrades in there quite nicely indeed. But he's only got 2 TCs right now. He's not even building a third. He's literally just going all out on wood, all out on gold, and getting very little food income at all. Going for a pretty much all-out army strategy. I kind of like this. It's pretty cool, actually. So much gold and wood income, very little food income. But he's still managing to queue up plenty of villagers and keep his economy growing, which is fairly nice. See if he can actually defend against this, as a mangonel does come in, and he's going to get back away from the wall. Good choice, good decision to make. Raids coming in, though, over at James XX's base, and there's a lot of knights on the map for teal and purple, as I've been saying so many times already. They managed to bust through the wall over at Mr. Yo's base, and Mr. Yo is having his base absolutely gutted right now. Purple just all over the map, so many knights out for him. In fact, I am just going to check how many he does have, because I've got a feeling it's a hell of a lot. Where is he? There he is. Let's see, 34 out on the map, raiding very nicely, and of course James XX and Slam not really walling at all, and the knights can just run straight into their base and do so much damage. Mr. Yo over here getting a castle up on the outskirts of his base, but that's not really where he wants it to be right now. I'm sure he'd rather have the castle in here. No upgrades on his TCs either, so there's no +1 or +2 for him, which does mean that Purple's knights can stay in there for even longer. Look how little damage that TC is actually doing. Each arrow only does 1 damage right now. And that does mean that he can stay under that TC for a long time. Not to mention the fact that Scandal over here has got some Huskarls out. He's not into the Imperial Age just yet. As you can see, he's still castle for now, but he is starting to add in a lot of Huskarls, which of course is great for raiding once again. Wow, Teal over here, big fight going on. Looks like his strategy of making mass cavalry archer really working out quite well. Of course, still has the upgrade advantage over Paladin, and this is fairly interesting now as Paladin does come in with some rams, but Teal on the way to save his ass. Going to bring those knights in, take out the rams real quick, and then probably push blue back, because right now I'm not really seeing much of an army from green. It looks like you had to bring it back to his base to defend against the raids from Teal, but now Teal just going to head straight over to Paladin's base and raid once again. And I do wish there was a villager lost tab in this game, that you could just bring up like a UI element up here that tells you how many villagers each player has lost, because it's kind of a big deal. Blue here losing so many villagers, and it would be great to compare just how many villagers each of them has lost. Mr. Yo here just advancing up to the Imperial Age, but he's going to lose the TC, and well, he might lose the TC. There's 2 rams on that, and it looks like it could go down, though he's actually putting a lot of health onto there. Maybe the 3rd ram will be enough. Oh wow, so close. That TC goes down, and had he repaired that a little more, he probably would have saved it. But a lot of Huskarls in here. They are, of course, Slams, and they should be upgraded now. They are elite Huskarls, so they will be able to put up quite a force. And Slam with a really big economy, actually, creating a lot of Huskarls right now, and he should be able to save Yo's ass a little bit for the time being. But Mr. Yo's economy taken such a huge blow. He really has lost a lot of villagers and a lot of gathering time, so that's really not so good. I'm not really seeing much of an army from him either, and it's going to be a while before he actually recovers. Adding in some archery ranges, looks like Mr. Yo could be going for some hand cannoneers, which is actually a really good choice to make once, of course, he's upgraded chemistry at his university, which unfortunately does not it does exist. There we go, chemistry being researched right there, and hand cannoneers is going to come out. Good choice, because of course Scandal here is playing as Goths, and he is just clicking up to the Imperial Age now. So if Mr. Yo can get plenty of hand cannoneers out, he should be able to counter that fairly nicely. Another big attack over here, and looks like James XX is going to get out here really quickly, do a good job, and take out these mangonels. Big losses there for Paladin. Sorry, VNS Yellow. But again, he is fighting this 2v1, and if you have a look at his economy, really interesting. He actually still only has 2 TCs, just a hell of a lot of gold, hell of a lot of wood, and producing what they called cavalry archers 3 at a time, as he has been this entire game. He has just clicked up to the Imperial Age as well, and he's stonewalled up, so it's going to be a while before these guys can break through, even though they have a superior army. Interesting strategy from Yellow here, but it seems like it's paying off for the time being. And my bad, he does have a 3rd TC, it's over here, I just didn't see it, and he's going to even get a castle up on this side as well. Interesting. He's having some resources sent to him, which is kind of explains how he's managing to survive on such small eco. It's kind of interesting, but I've got to say, teal and purple over here, massive economies, a lot of stables from both of them, and it looks like obviously teal here up to the Imperial Age now will be going with the cavalry upgrades. So look, Cavalier upgrade being researched now, that's on 50%, and he's going to have a lot of Cavaliers out fairly soon. If we have a look at his cavalry count, he is on 31, but he is making them very, very fast indeed. He's got a lot of stables right there, and they are going to be pumping out reasonably quickly. Slam is going to be pushing out though. He has got a lot of Huskarls on the map, and I think here purple making a good choice. He's playing as Vikings, which does mean he does have pretty good infantry. Not as good as Goths, but reasonably good. And he is going with champion upgrades, which is a good decision to make, as of course champions do one-up Huskarls. Of course, Scandal is going to be able to get in here as well, and use his Huskarls, but I think if Mr. Yo wasn't raided as much and he actually managed to have a lot more hand cannoneers out on the map right now, that would make such a huge difference. A lot of hand cannoneers in here would absolutely shred through the army composition of purple and orange, but at the moment they are outnumbering them quite significantly, and there's a lot of barracks set up here for both of them, so we could see a lot of infantry over on this side of the map, mostly cavalry over here though. Kind of interesting, we've got infantry all on the left, cavalry all on the right. That Cavalier upgrade is done for teal, and combined with yellow's cavalry archers over here, which he has a lot of, there is no doubting that. They are going to be absolutely shredding through things over here. Only battering rams from yellow right now. He's still only in the castle age, of course upgrading to imperial right now, but it will be a little while. But looking to batter down this castle. And teal here is so far ahead with his upgrades. He's got fully upgraded armor right now. Looks like he's probably going to be upgrading the attack of these guys. Blast Furnace, of course, on the way. And as you can see, these Cavaliers looking pretty formidable right now. Is he going to be upgrading Paladin? That's the question. Yes, he is. It's on 60% already. And once Paladin's upgraded, Jesus, this is going to be huge for these guys. They're going to absolutely steamroll Paladin over here. He really doesn't have much at all. He's got the help from James XX, but James XX playing as Vikings, not really going to be upgrading his knights here. He could upgrade them to Cavalier, but I mean, it's not really going to be worthwhile for him. And he is going to be having to switch to infantry or archers. He is going to go with what are they called? Pikemen right now. The word was on the screen. How did I not read that? Oh, sorry about that. Just had a little bit of a coughing fit. But as I was saying, James XX here going to be switching to pikemen and upgrading those guys over there. So he's doing the right thing by doing that. But Paladin already researched over here for teal, and yellow now into the Imperial Age. Attack on his cavalry archers, +4 already. And these guys are going to be absolutely wrecking through VG Paladin here. Sorry, VG Paladin. He's Chinese, not Vietnamese. But yeah, absolutely going to be wrecking through him, and he's really going to have not a lot left. Slam on the left, though, doing a good job of helping Mr. Yo out. Mr. Yo still without a huge amount of army, but he is working on it. Adding in a lot of archery ranges right now, adding in a lot of hand cannoneers as well, and it looks like they're even managing to push back orange and purple, doing a really good job over on this side, managing to keep the units streaming in, of course. And if Mr. Yo can actually get up that sort of critical mass of hand cannoneers, he's going to be able to absolutely flatten most of this army. The question is, can they literally just outmass them? And it looks like they've got a lot of units on the map, but the question is, will they manage to outmass them? And we'll see very shortly, I am sure. Paladin trying to flee his base, the conga line of villagers running over to build a TC way over here, but being intercepted, of course, by Teal's Paladins. Teal doing a great job here of raiding, sending some Paladins in over to James XX's base to get in there. He has upgraded to Cavalier for that matter, but of course he can't upgrade Paladin, and his Cavalier are not going to be much of a match for the fully upgraded Paladins of Teal. So raiding this really nicely, managing to stop Paladin from escaping, and Paladin, poor Paladin, really has not a lot left. He's relying very heavily on Slam and James XX to help him out here. Slam sending over some units of his own, but that is an absolute mass of cavalry archers right there. These guys really trying to help Paladin out and keep him in the game, but there's really little he can do. Raids coming in then by Scandal and Purple here, getting right into Slam's base. And I think this is where the game starts to turn around. I mean, they may have had a little bit of an advantage over on this side with a lot of hand cannoneers and a very big army, but the raids from Scandal over here absolutely wrecking Slam's base, as well from Junsu as well, absolutely wrecking them. The Paladins from Teal right in there as well, getting so many villagers, and even going to get into that trade line which they've only just set up. Going to be a really big deal here. There are some castles to defend, but it's really not a lot. 2 castles, not such a big deal, and these paladins are going to be in there, going to be absolutely destroying these economies, and they really are getting wrecked right now. Continuing to push forward into Paladin's base, and it's fair enough to say that this over here is looking fairly lost. There's just a mass of pikemen, that's pretty much it, and James XX is going to find them being killed off very quickly by this massive cavalry archers here. Yellow, of course, going to be able to micro these away, and he's just really going to be able to take down these pikemen so quickly. Once he's focused down this trebuchet, of course. So going to get in there. Probably going to, well, it would be a good idea for him to move them back and micro them a bit, but I mean, these pikemen going to get absolutely wrecked. Paladin trying to rebuild his base wherever he can, but the raids from GA Pro here absolutely doing a great job. And even over here, we do have Mr. Yo starting to attack forwards, but reduced to making skirmishers right now. Let's have a look. He's got gold. He could be making hand cannoneers. Skirmishers, of course, not the best idea for fighting champions, but good counter to the hand cannoneers from Scandal, so not such a bad idea overall. But he really does need a lot more hand cannoneers than this. He's trying to queue them up as much as he can, and he's managing. It's a little bit of a standoff between Orange and Mr. Yo, but the raids still coming in. Purple spending so much time in the back of their bases. Teal as well with his paladins also, and losing TCs to champions really not so good, as these guys just absolutely wrecking back here. TC could go down, and it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess back here. Over on the right, again, the battle seems to be lost. VG Paladin really out of this. He's not adding much to this at all, of course. Without a base, without any income, how is he supposed to produce any military? It's pretty much 2v1 against James XX over here, with Yellow pushing forwards with heavy cavalry archers, Teal pushing forwards with paladins, and of course their base is still being raided, losing trade carts pretty quickly. And although the raiding almost coming to an end now, Slam has been preoccupied with this for so long that it means Purple has had chance and time to make a lot of champions over here, bring them in, and Mr. Yo could find himself out of this fairly soon. Slam resigns right there, and that's pretty much it. The game does end because this is Slam's POV, but Mr. Yo, Paladin, and James XX resign very shortly, and the game goes to the Vietnamese guys, the VNS guys. Fairly well played from them, and I think they wanted to play it more of a typical 4v4 with the flanks going for flushes. We did see that a little bit, but they stopped their flush midway because they did realise that obviously Yo and Paladin were walling up very quickly, and they were going up to the castle age pretty quickly as well. I thought, maybe with the fast castle from the flanks that they would have managed to do something and push it in, but Yellow anticipated that pretty quickly with his stone walls right there, and by the time Yo was up to the castle age, so was Purple, and he was already putting a lot of pressure on there as well, so he managed to protect his teammate Scandal here by doing so. Really well played by the Vietnamese guys, actually. Good raiding as well, keeping the Slam and the Chinese guys locked inside of their bases, and that's kind of what you want in a 4v4. The map control, pretty significant, and these guys doing a really good job of getting that. So that's pretty much it from me. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. As usual, guys, I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.